I can tell you my history about that. I went down to Spain, not last year, the year before, and worked for Spectrum for a while and tried to set up various things with them. That was fun. That all collapsed because my personal life collapsed, so I had to come back to the UK. And then I sorted that out to a degree and thought I'll go back down to Spain and see if I can organize something of a similar nature. By working on the radio in Spain.
Okay.
Which I've now started to do. So what I do is record what I do and send it over to them, and they then transmit it.
So you're not going to be living here in Spain?
Not immediately, but there's a possibility that I will one day.
Okay.
Or at least, I kind of like eventually maybe buy an apartment somewhere in Spain, because I like Spain a lot.
Right.
So I don't think I could afford to live there all the time on the basis that the work that I do is in London.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, what do you like about Spain?
What do I like about Spain? The culture. And I'm not talking about Marbella.
Okay.
Because Marbella is a very distinct and strange little enclave of Spain. As indeed are other aspects of the southern coast. I'm talking about Madrid and Bilbao and places like that, and Valdepeñas. Places that what I would call real Spain. What do I like about it? I like the culture. I like the tempo, and I like the climate.
Great.
And I kind of like the beer too, and the wine, and the women, and all that stuff as well.
Fantastic. So would you want to live in the south, or would you want to live in a big city, for example?
I would kind of like maybe to live in Barcelona or Madrid.
Oh, okay.
If I was going to live anywhere, I would probably do that. I mean, I think Madrid is a fantastic city.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely brilliant place to be. Really on the case. Except these skyscrapers are looking a bit dodgy at the moment.
Oh,
that's not Vegas, to be honest.
That's true. There's a real problem with that. That's true.
Yeah.
So, what's your show going to feature? Is it going to be the same sort of format as the show you do on VH1, or?
It's going to be the same format as a radio show that I did on BBC for 15 years, which was called the Friday Rock Show. It's going to be a 2-hour blast of rock. That's old and new. In fact, it's on the air at the moment. In fact, it's on the air tonight.
Okay. So that's your music of choice then?
Well, it's something, it's not so much my music of choice, it's what I'm certainly definitely known for.
Absolutely, right.
Because I've done it for so long, people always associate me with rock.
Of course, your voice, just listening to your voice is kind of, it's associated with rock. Tommy Vance is not your real name, is it?
Tommy Vance is a name that I adopted in the United States of America around about the time they had their Civil War. A long time ago. My real name is not Tommy Vance at all.
Can you tell me the story of how you came to take that name?
I came to get the name. Okay, well, I was living in Washington State. That's on the other side of the Earth, on the Pacific side. And I was driving from where I was living every weekend up to Vancouver to see my girlfriend of the time.
Right.
Necessitated me going through Seattle.
Okay.
So every time I went through Seattle, on every weekend, I dropped another audition tape into all the radio stations there. And I used to make an audition tape a week. And eventually one radio station phoned me up and said, yeah, we sound like what you do. I said, good, how much and where's the job? And they offered me a job, and they said, would I mind taking on the name Tommy Vance? Because it was the name of another DJ who was based in Texas.
Okay.
So they had actually made what's called a jingle package for. Do you know the main jingle?
Yeah, it was all,
And it was all packaged up and ready to roll. He couldn't come because his daughter had an ear infection. Okay. As I call it. So they said, would I mind calling myself Tommy Vance? Because they have already made all the jingles.
Okay.
So I said, for this money, you can call me what you like, mate. And that's how I got the name.
Fantastic. Okay. Great.
Prior to that, my air name was Rick West.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. So, I mean, what was your reaction to John Peel, the unfortunate demise of John Peel?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's so much of an unfortunate demise, in as much as people that, if you like, die before their time. In the music industry, you tend to go straight to the House of Lords. So I don't know. I mean, it's unfortunate for him, but then when you die, and that's the end of it.
Absolutely.
Certainly unfortunate for his missus, who had to go and organise getting the body back from bloody Peru.
Okay.
That was a hassle, but he's dead, and once he's dead, you're dead.
Yeah. Did you have much contact with him when you were at Radio 1, or?
I knew him when he was on the Pirates.
Oh, right.
He was on Radio London, I was on Radio Caroline.
Oh, right.
So I met him there, and the first show that he did, and the first show that I did for Radio 1, it was a dual hosting thing. Both he and I did it together. So, yeah, that's the very beginning of the Radio 1.
Okay.
There's a show called Top Gear, and on a Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, yeah, I knew him quite well.
Okay. So do you think anyone's got the kind of, the chutzpah to take over from John Peel's mantle?
That's a very good word to use. Yes, I think a lot of people have got the chutzpah, but I don't think the radio stations, either the BBC or elsewhere, will allow them to do that. There's a lot more regimentation in radio these days than there was in those days.
Okay.
And certainly nobody has maybe, I don't know who would have the breadth of knowledge that he developed. Other than his types of music that he played, which is frankly anything.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very eclectic guy.
Very eclectic, but eclectic is good. Eclectic educates people's appreciation of any art form. It gives them the opportunity to choose and to learn. It doesn't sit very well with the accountants and everybody else wants to tell you what to do. There you go.
So in terms of the future of commercial radio, what do you see happening really?
Oh, my friend, if I knew anything of that nature on any level, I'd be a very rich man. I can't foresee the future.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea what. And the commercial life is just restriction, pigeonholes. I think the vast majority of people working on commercial radio are just bland talking heads without passion or fervour. That's all that's demanded of them. That's turning up on their airship. And shoving their tongue up the program director's arse, basically. So
would you be interested in doing digital radio if it kind of took off?
Well, I am doing that now.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry.
I have been working for 6 months for Virgin Radio Classic Rock. Right. Which is a very small aspect of their operation. It's on the net. And it's on digital radio in London and London alone.
Okay.
On which I did a program which goes out on Friday. I think it goes out. Yeah, it goes out tonight. I am in talks with another radio network who sent me an email yesterday and said that they're going to phone my agent on Monday and make me an offer.
Oh, great.
Which is a digital network that has total coverage in the United Kingdom as well as being in part of the Sky package.
Right.
And it's got much better coverage. And frankly, I think it's a much better operation.
But you find
the money's good. What?
You find you have more freedom on that kind of platform, or?
I won't work unless they give me complete freedom.
Okay. So you insist on kind of final cut, basically, whatever records you want to play, right?
Yes. Excuse me for 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm the phone. You should know that. Right. So sure it does. Whether we? I'm not sure I insist on it.
Right.
It's just that I just don't play that game, you know.
Okay.
I'm no good. Unless I believe in what I'm doing, I might as well go home.
Okay.
And frequently people have said, well, then fuck off. And I have.
Okay.
And then go home. It's not worked for a while, but that's life, you know.
That's part of the game. Yeah. Well, great. Well, thanks very much for taking the time to speak to me.
I find it is not a problem.
Great.
One of the things specific about Spectrum, I would suggest that you give them a ring.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to them next.
Yeah, I mean, my sort of situation with them is, you know, because I did this thing with them 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I got a loyalty towards Spectrum emotionally, if you like. So I'm glad to be on it again.
Uh-huh.
And I do think of all the people involved in it, although it's a very idiosyncratic area,
Yeah.
Spain, as opposed to here. And none of these stations, it's not the same kind of radio.
Okay.
I think Spectrum is the one that stands a chance of going completely national in Spain.
Yeah.
You know, it's justifiable with a significant amount of English class there, like myself, who go down there. And, you know, I think they'll make it. I mean, they're on the air in Madrid now. I think they're going to try to get in on there in Barcelona, Cadiz, and in Portugal.
Well, it's a different kind of radio to radio in England. You said.
Yes, it's also a different kind of marketplace.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, on legal levels and every level, it's just run on a very different level. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it's nice to be on the air. I mean, Spain is a very, very good rock country.
Yeah.
Spanish people like rock.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. And so it's good to be on the air doing it.
Great. Okay.
And I'll shut up now.
No. Tell me. No. I mean, it is true. I mean, Spain is a massive market for kind of classic rock.
Yeah, it is.
In Spain, and it's obviously you're going to have a large audience here.
I want to think, you know, if I play it right, the radio station has got a good signal and all that stuff, it should do well.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure it will. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Tommy. I really enjoyed speaking to you.
Where are you? Are you in Madrid?
Yeah, I'm in Madrid. I'm looking at the Plaza del Sol right now.
Lucky soul. I'm looking at fucking Wigmore Street.
Wigmore Street. Where's that? Is that in London?
Central London, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck with it, Tommy.
And you, mate. Take care.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.